Thank you, Shelley. Hi, my name is Ben. I'm one of the nurses at the CF Center up at Dornberger. Thanks also to the CF Foundation for another great event. Great as always. I'm here tonight to introduce our featured speaker, who I had the pleasure of meeting when she was all of about 7 pounds and just under 2 feet tall. It was 2008. It was a normal, cloudy November afternoon in Portland. I'd been the CF nurse for like 5 years, and at that point I'd met about 30 sets of parents with newly diagnosed babies. And though I treasured meeting all of our new families, and I still do, at that time, in 2008, CF was still considered a pretty bleak diagnosis. So there they were, another set of parents, Sarah and Jake. And at that point, we tried to offer hope, tried to offer compassion. And we had therapies, we had treatments, we had hospitals, caring professionals, expertise, knowledge. What we didn't have was a cure. And we certainly didn't have anything in our bag of tricks that would stop the progression of the disease. Parents have told me time and again, as they sat in that drab, fluorescent lit room, exam room, all they could think was their beautiful child had this dreadful disease. It was hard to hear anything at all, let alone anything resembling hope. That day, along with our team, we told these new parents, we'll work together with you to fight CF as hard as we can. And so we did just that. We teamed up. They would faithfully bring her to clinic, and together we met each new challenge head on. Maybe it's because of their law enforcement background, but her parents were tough and they didn't shy away from the difficulties of raising a child with CF. Over time, she grew up, taking after her 6'4" father, and I can say with utmost sincerity, our team really looked forward to her visits. I don't know if it was due to her tall stature, or maybe because she spent the first 8 years of her life as an only child, but she was special, always articulate and bright, even at a very young age. You know, a lot of kids shy away from the clinic, or shy from the adults in the clinic. When they come to the clinic, they just want to hide. But she was always part of the conversation. She asked the best questions and always had something fun to say. And when you asked her about her life, she was honest and forthcoming, and she was always funny. As it turns out, eventually we got some therapies, medications that would change the game and offer real hope. And finally, after 22 years at Dornberger, I can look families in the eye and say, it's going to be all right. Yes, there'll be challenges. Yes, there'll be setbacks. But CF is not the same disease as it was when it sat there almost 17 years ago and spoke with Sarah and Jake. Their daughter's living proof. Instead of watching her lung function steadily fall, she rose up the ranks as an elite volleyball player. Instead of time spent languishing in a hospital bed, she's juggling a full schedule and planning her college life. These are things that seemed unrealistic in 2008. Now they're routine. It's very satisfying to see this young woman rise to her full potential to live her best life. And so, without further ado, I'd like to introduce the opposite hitter of the Oregon City Pioneers varsity volleyball squad and our friend, Josephine Clark.